Just going to give people a minute or two here to log in. I see some people logging in. All right, here we go. Good evening, everybody. I do want to respect your time, and my Buffalo Bills are playing right now, so first game of the season. So we are not going to run late, I assure you. So I'm just going to go ahead and mute everybody. But if you have any questions, please feel free to put a chat in and I will take a look at it and hopefully answer any questions you might have. So I'm going to go ahead. We'll let stragglers come on in. Thank you very much for joining me. My name is David McMahon. I'm the founder and CEO of OcuSci. We have been around for a number of years. We sell the full continuum of care for dry eye and macular degeneration. I'm going to get rid of this little box here. We are committed to clinical studies. I personally am committed to objective clinical evidence whenever I can get that done, whenever I can get that designed and implement it. That's what I'm always seeking to do. So you're going to see all of our products that we do clinical studies to objectively show the efficacy both for clinicians and for patients, of course, and outcomes. So we're going to go over meibomian gland expression. We've done market research both with clinicians and with patients, so I'll share that with you. I think the findings are pretty interesting. Also going to take you through our new device that was launched just about a month and a half ago, the MGRX. And here, just briefly, real quick, I'm going to touch on a few of the other products that we have because what we're really looking to do is build a relationship with you, hopefully bring in the MGRX and the whole suite of products, and we make it very attractive for you to do that if you are looking to stock other products as well. So just to touch on, as I mentioned, clinical studies are Ultra Dry Eye TG, which I know when I looked at the list here, several of you attending today are using that and have been using that for years, and could speak to how your patients really love it and stay on it because it really works. In the study that we published 4 or 5 years ago now, we saw a 47% increase or improvement in OSDI scores in just 30 days when paired with our excellent dry eye compress. Our Ultramacular is the only product out there that has the full AREDS 2, a daily vitamin, and our amazing omega-3 that we source wild caught from Alaska. We're the only ones who do that. Highest purity. It's sold throughout the world, so we have to register it and get it tested and approved by Health Canada and also in Europe. So it's really been treated more like a pharmaceutical, unlike here in the US. So the highest possible grade of fish oil with no contaminants and tested, every lot. So just real quick, I wanted to just talk about our dry eye compress. If you have ever used ours before, it was redesigned about 1.5 years ago, maybe. Really has some features that no one else has. And just two I'll touch on is this kind of silicone strip on the nose. Maybe doesn't sound like much, but adds, really comfort and fit for the patient. And then this hydro block that we added to our machine washable cover, which we really invented for this space. This blocks the escape of heat and steam once you heat that compress up, and it sends it back towards the patient's eyes. So it doesn't let it escape out the front like all others do. So what that does is allows us to deliver a lot more moisture and heat to the patient than any other compress. The other thing I'll mention is you can put your logo right on our compress. We're the only on the machine washable cover, actually. We're the only ones who do that. and it's a pretty low minimum to get started with that. So you can follow up with us on that. And then just to show you what I was talking about, again, we believe in objective evidence as much as we can get done. So here is our compress, 95% humidity for 10 minutes, does not drop. Here's a competitive product that as soon as you put it on the face, it's going down to room humidity, really. And the same with our heat, just stays up there. So really nice compress, really effective. And we also offer a 1-year warranty. We're the only ones who do that as well. So your patient can get a free replacement if anything were to happen with it. So let's talk about meibomian gland expression and dry eye. So I don't need to tell you that dry eye is the #1 reason for patients to visit a clinic. 25 million patients in the US alone. Obviously, it's a worldwide problem. We see a lot of interest in Europe and Asia in our products and this new MGRX. LASIK and cataract patients in particular, you can't give a cataract patient their best correction if their tear film is not in the best shape. So it's really important to get that tear film stabilized and really reduce their symptoms as much as possible before surgery. And with LASIK, same thing, but also we know it's a big side effect of LASIK is dry eye. So the better you can get their tear film in shape prior to these surgeries, the better off they're going to be. And of course, 80% of dry eye is caused by meibomian gland dysfunction. So what are patients doing? Well, patients are buying drops. Patients are, taking our omegas, hopefully. They're doing other things. So they're spending between $700 and $1,300 a year for a severe patient on their dry eye. So they are, this is a big life issue for patients, as you know. I'm sure you see them every day. And then, of course, when you throw in drugs and plugs, you're up to $3,000. So money is being spent on this because it is a huge pain point for patients. If you see them every day, patients who have bad dry eye, I mean, it really dominates their life. And that's, why we've invented the products and devices that we have, because we really want to help these patients. So the MGRX, it's been in development for 7 years. It is, I think you can see this. This is a handheld, device that lithium ion powered with interchangeable instruments. So that's really kind of the secret sauce here, is that we're able to do multiple treatments with just one device. There's a lot of technology going on inside this device. We're measuring temperature and adjusting temperature 1,000 times a second with a dedicated circuit board. That's all it does. We have another that just checks for temperature overrun and for voltage spikes for safety. So there's a reason it's taken 7 years to get this right. But also something that's pretty unique. This is my 9th class 2 device that I've been involved with. And, we've been on patients for 2 years now. So we have done a lot to really not only get the best product, but develop the best product that works in your practice in terms of process flow, usability, comfort, how it works in your practice. That's been a big one. And we already have a clinical study that's completed that shows efficacy, which is pretty unique for a brand new product. So we're very excited about this. So as you may have seen in our literature and promotion, no disposables, multiple treatments, which I'm going to take you through. And it really is 5 to 10 minutes of clinician time, depending on how you do it in your practice. How much of this are you going to delegate to a tech? Certainly parts of it could and should be done by a tech. The ROI on this is 30 patients or less. I mean, it could be considerably less. I'm going to show you some ways to get into the product for, $6,500 to have a device that has a 4-year warranty, which is, really unheard of in our space or really any medical device. So that's a first of its kind as well. We're really confident in the durability and efficacy of this product. So I'm going to show you some video. Really the goal here is to have you walk away really with a good understanding of how the device works and what it looks like in practice, because I know that's really what it comes down to. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised with the ease of use because there really isn't much of a learning curve here. These are the types of instruments you've used, your whole career probably. One thing I do want to point out, because it does seem to create some confusion, is this, when you look at our MGRX system, this black big hunk of metal here is what we call the preheater. And, I talked about that this has been in clinic for 2 years, and we've treated hundreds of patients, worked with 40 clinicians. And this came out of we found that we were running out of battery after after one patient or two patients, depending on how quickly, the doc was working. So this really was invented to save time and to save battery. The MGRX itself will work without the preheater. You don't have to use the preheater, but what it does, it gets the instruments up to almost the perfect temperature so that when you transfer the instruments into the device only has to bump it up 2-3 degrees and kind of lock it in and maintain that temperature. That saves us a ton of battery, saves you a lot of time, such that when we switch instruments to do the treatments, it's about 30 seconds to switch the instruments and get them up to speed, up to temperature, I should say. So it used to be, or without the preheater, it might be 2 minutes, it might be 3 minutes, because you're taking a piece of aluminum that you've got to heat up from room temperature to 113. It takes time and takes power. So I just wanted to clarify that. It's really an ease of use and more efficient for you. And that's why we have the preheater. So the 3 treatments that I've been talking about, and we call this a spa for the eyes. I've been treated 3 times myself. I'd love to have one right now. I'm ready. So if anybody on the call is, we're here in San Diego. If you're local, let's set it up. I'd love to get another treatment. It feels really good. And, typically the patients I've seen, they do feel improvement, immediately, unlike some of the other treatments out there like IPL and LipiFlow, where it takes, IPL is what, 4 treatments to really see a benefit. And LipiFlow, I've been told, is, multiple weeks before you should expect to see a benefit. So this is a little different. So thermal debridement, you've probably done debridement. We've really invented this. So you're doing debridement, but it's with an instrument that's heated to 42°C, so about 112 or so. Takes about 2 minutes, and you're decapping the glands, removing biofilm. So the benefit of debridement. And the heat that we're bringing with the instrument really makes this, helps to kind of just melt those caps off. Hope you can hear me. My AC is buzzing pretty loud here. It's pretty hot here in San Diego right now. The next step is thermal lid massage. You've probably seen this with, a MiboFlow maybe. So this is the same idea. We're just basically adding heat to that eyelid, a little bit of pressure. And the idea is to melt that meibum, to get it liquefied so we can get it expressed. We definitely suggest you have your tech do this. There's no reason not to. It's on the closed eyelid. It feels great. I mean, patients are literally falling asleep during this. And I should have said on debridement, could a tech do that? I get asked all the time. I think yes, and docs I've talked to think yes as well. But I think it's up to you, and maybe even up to your state, because some states have different rules around what a tech can and can't do. And I think really comes down to your how comfortable you are with them doing that. So I'm going to leave that up to you. Last step is really the payoff, is the thermal expression. And in this step, the expressor that you see here in my hand is the red is heated. The blue is not. And so the red is external to the lid. The blue slips inside the eyelid. And that, keeps any excessive heat from the cornea. And it is very effective without using a lot of pressure. And that's really the key. So we've also put a pressure limiting on this expressor such that you're only putting about 25 PSI on the eyelid. For comparison, if you've used a manual expressor, they can put up to 50. And you've probably had the patients squirming in their chairs like I've seen. So you're not going to have that with the MGRX. So, and that step just is 2 to 3 minutes. So again, your time, 5 minutes, 5 to 10, if you take on some of the massage maybe, but it's not a lot of time. So now I want to show you the actual, this is our in-service video that will help you get started with the device, and we'll send you a link to this after the presentation, but I'm going to go ahead and show you this to go. I'm going to show you the first step is thermal debridement. And I want you to pay attention to the loading here. So we talked about there's just a single button. You double click that to tell it that you're going to load it. You pull the debridement tool out of the preheater. So it's already pretty hot, but in, a few seconds, it loses multiple degrees. So then you're going to double click the instrument again, telling it that you have loaded the instrument. It will blink until it's hit target temp, and then it'll audibly give you a double beep. Let me go back to that. So we do have them apply anesthetic, drops for debridement, just to make it a little more comfortable for the patient, to keep them, from in the corners in particular. Again, debridement feels really good. I've had it done several times. So, but yeah. So go ahead and do that. And then you can see, the device is we spent a lot of time getting the ergonomics right. You can see that angle on the debriding tip. So that, again, that tip is about 112, and he's just doing a light pressure on those glands. He's pulling up the eyelid so he can get to that. And, it's literally a minute a lid, maybe. And then you can see down on the lower lid, easy to do as well. All right, I'm going to move on to massage, or I'll just let this go, I guess. We've got some time. So again, we're loading the instrument. You're just going to exchange it. So there's a look, you're going to double click, tell it that you're going to put massage in. You're going to use that button there to unload the instrument, put it in its socket. You're going to push that down, lock it in, double click, and the icon on the screen is showing you the instrument that you're using. And you're going to apply some ultrasound gel to the tip here, and that's just to increase heat transfer, reduce friction. The device does have a built-in, go back there, as a built-in 2-minute timer. So you're just going to depress the mode button right here, just depress that for 2 seconds, and the automatic timer starts. The instrument does have to hit its target temp first, so you have to wait for that to audibly double beep to tell you it's ready to go, which should be about 30 seconds. Once you do that, then you depress, you get your timer, and you can see it's concave, just light pressure. And that tip there is a good one. So, and again, we've learned from treating so many patients. Let me go back. So during massage, it uses the most battery because it's the biggest instrument and it's the longest treatment. So what we learned was if you want to treat 3 patients, 4 patients, 5 patients in a row, you can do that. You do have to plug in the device while you're doing massage. It doesn't affect the massage treatment because it's not a fine motor, skill. You're just simply gentle pressure. And that will save the battery while you're doing that. And the device will just go all day if you do that. So that's something we learned. And again, that's the benefit of really getting out there and beta testing these units. In the last webinar, someone asked me, how do you do the lower lid? Well, if you look, all he did was flip that instrument around so that the flat top edge is in line with the eyelid margin there. So he's got the half moon, if you will, on the lower eye. So that's all you do. And so you can see he's got it. The half moon's up because it's concave in the middle. He's just using low light pressure there. Feels really good. So now we're going to go to expression. Just checking my time. I think we're doing well. Hopefully my Bills are winning. So again, instrument exchange. It's a couple pushes of the mode button. Put it in its socket. Pull out the expressor. You're going to load that. It has a notch, so you can't load it wrong. There's only one way to load it. Double click. It's going to show you that expressor. That's going to blink until it's ready to go. Again, you're going to apply some anesthetic drops here. Again, when you get in those corners, sometimes there's a lot of nerves in there, but it feels really comfortable. So he's putting that expressor there and he's depressing it all the way down and holding it for 1 to 2 seconds and letting that heat do a low pressure expression and get some really good production typically. Again, the red is heated, the blue is not. I'm just going to show you one more part of this and then we'll move on to the market research. Again, pressure limited design, he's depressing every time, and that's about 25 PSI, very comfortable. Patients are not squirming, it's not painful. And then with all these steps that we've applied, heat and pressure and decapped, you're getting liquefied meibum, expressing very well. Okay. So now actually I'm gonna, oops. This is Brittany McMurrin, who was one of our investigators in our clinical study, and she's just going to tell you about her first 12 patients, what her experience has been with her patients.
So as of now, I've treated 24 eyes, and of that, I haven't seen all of them back for their post-op visit or their post-treatment visit. For the most part, I'm seeing really significant decreases in the dry symptoms score because we test them all the same way at every visit. And there's a sharp drop-off in how severe patients' symptoms are. As a matter of fact, I have a few patients that immediately after being treated tell me that their eyes feel better and lighter. Not sure what that means to them, but it's been working really well.
So she's had a device for probably 1.5 years and treated, I don't even know at this point, maybe 70 patients. So she's real happy with it. So the clinical study that I mentioned, 37 patients, so 74 eyes using speed score greater than 12 and tear breakup time less than 6 seconds. And so we did a baseline treatment, no other treatments, no other supplements or anything. And then 30 days after treatment, a 42% improvement in speed score. In tear breakup time, less than 3 seconds for both eyes on average, and then doubled to over 6. Big improvement. And then the gland scores are just, phenomenal. So less than 5. So these patients were pretty bad off. And then gland score is up in the 20s. So really good results. I think as good as anything that's been published from other treatment devices. And then what really matters is, how your patients feel. And this is a big one. Now I can wear my contacts again. I've now heard that many times. So one treatment and patients are going from not being able to wear their contacts to wearing them for 4, 6, 8 hours a day. So that's a really big one. So let's talk about the market research, because I think, this is really interesting. Again, I'm a big believer in data collection and objective evidence. So we surveyed 54 clinicians who treat dry eye and asked them how many of their patients, forgetting cost, would benefit from meibomian gland expression. So you can see there's pretty big range here. I'm not sure who this doc is who's saying 300 patients. I'd like to get that account. That'd be great. But on average, 41 dry eye patients a month would benefit, is what they're saying. And that sounds very conservative and reasonable to me. That's 2 a day if you're open 20 days in a month. So I think that's very reasonable. We got 10 minutes. So we then surveyed quite a few LipiFlow owners. So about half of our docs owned a LipiFlow that we surveyed. And on average, they're charging $950 for a treatment, and they're treating about 5 patients a month. And that jives with what I hear when I talk with docs. And we said, what if you could charge $350? Because we have no disposable, right? So a LipiFlow disposable, to my knowledge, is $300. So they can't charge $350. But you can with our device. So they said they could do, 44% said they could do 4 times as many. That's 21 treatments a month. 26% said 16. So, price matters. So if they could charge a third, they'd really be treating quite a few more patients and have a lot more happy patients. Then we went to the patients. So 51 dry eye patients, who are buying some sort of dry eye products. Those are the ones we want to talk to, right? So almost 40% said they'd be extremely or very likely to pay $400 for this treatment, and 33% somewhat likely. So again, I think that's sounds reasonable. And all the docs that I know using our device now are charging somewhere in that $300 to $450 maybe range. So I think that's right in the sweet spot. And then lastly, just in terms of dry eye products, carrying dry eye products, and this is important, because if you can carry more of our products, it can be a much better, smaller acquisition cost for the MGRX, half price or even free, without too much of a huge monthly commitment. So 80% of clinicians in this survey of 54 carried dry supplements or compresses. Half of them are selling $7,500 annually. 13% are selling over $20,000 annually. And again, remember, this is annuity business, right? Keeps coming every year. So that's good business. So if you put all these numbers together that we just talked about, so 41 dry eye patients a month would benefit, then you add in cost, right? So we surveyed the patients. All right, so 41 of you could use it. How many would actually pay for it? 39%. So that leaves you 16 patients a month. So that's one way to look at it. Scenario 2 is, the LipiFlow owners themselves who've been doing this believed that about 18 patients a month would pay $350. So I think, those are pretty close using 2 different methods. So I think those numbers are pretty good. So what does that translate to in your practice? Around $76,000 a year. I mean, that would have let you hire another tech, right? So this could be very profitable, not to mention, delight your patients, because these people are seeking relief. Again, no additional costs beyond the acquisition of the device. So that's all profit. So what are we offering? So we are offering, product's been out about a month and a half. We are getting traction. We are selling them. We've got quite a few new contracts in right now. But we do have inventory, although it's running pretty low. We've got another build on the books, but there might be a little bit of back order in the next couple of weeks here. But we're going to offer you $3,000 off if you want to just buy one straight out. So it'd be $995 or $9,995 instead of $12,995. Or if you want to stock our, excellent consumables, our Omegas, our ultramacular, our compresses. If you can do that 2 cases a month, it's about $1,300 a month. That gets you an MGRX at no cost. It's a 36-month commitment, but you can cancel at any time, and we just, you know, kind of work out the credit, and you pay the balance on the MGRX. If you can only do a case, so that's 12 bottles a month, which I believe anybody could do, you're going to get 50% off the MGRX. So that's $6,500 for an MGRX. So last slide here. So what does all that look like? You know, we talked about 16 to 18 patients a month seems reasonable at $350. Let's be conservative and say 12 and a half. That's 150 treatments annually at $400, 60,000 in annual revenue. You sign up for the 1 case a month deal. You pay $6,400 for the device. Your profit's $53,000 on that. Then you add another $6,000 from the consumables, and of course that's going to build. So it's 60 to 70 to 74,000 in your first couple of years there. So, you know, I think this is a really low ROI, really going to delight your patients. Again, 4-year warranty, we stand behind it. Let me just go back there. So, and I will say we do have reps, you know, covering probably half the country right now. We are adding more reps, but if you want to demo it, we will figure out a way to get you a device. If we can just ship it to you directly, that'd be fine too. You know, it's a 30-day, no risk purchase. If you want to purchase one and try it out, and for some reason you don't like it, send it back to us. We'll refund your money. We don't have any concerns about that. And actually, it's the same with our supplements. If you buy supplements from us and you have 6 months, if for some reason you don't feel like you can sell them to your patients, let us know, and we'll actually pay the shipping to send them back to us. That never happens, I can tell you. So I'm very confident in offering that. Are there any questions? We just got a few minutes left here. I don't see any chats. No, I don't see any chats. Well, I want to thank you very much for your time. We will send you a copy of this presentation if you want to look at it. Oh, now I do see a chat. Let's see what that is. We will not be at Vision Expo, I'm sorry to say. I'm actually going to be in Europe next week at the ESCRS, and we will be at AAO in Chicago, and we will be at Academy here in San Diego at the end of March. Or March, what am I talking about? End of October. And we will be in Monterey at the California meeting as well. So we've got about 4 shows coming up, but Vision Expo did not make that cut. So, but please contact us, and we will, like I said, figure out a way to get you a demo. If we'll have a rep stop by, or we'll just ship you one directly. So thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate it. Again, we'll send you a copy of this presentation. We'll send you a link to the in-service video, and we'll send you your free dry eye kit so you can try out those products. Appreciate it. Have a great night. Go Bills to beat the Rams. I'm excited. First day of NFL. All right, everybody have a great night. Bye-bye.